I just learned some jazz today, it's true. He just learned some jazz today, and you gon' learn.
Guys, look, it's not very often we ask you for a favor, but we have a few special requests for you.
Social media. Follow us, tag us, share us to your best friends.
Passion to Profit Podcast.
Yo, couldn't believe them stories conceived for no reason. Please just go and leave them fakies in season. But not breed them, cause nowadays you couldn't find me on the BBC.
What's up, guys? This is the Passion to Profit Podcast. And I just love saying that. What about you, Liz?
Don't really love to say it. I've been saying it for months. I'm excited to say it out loud.
If you're tuning in on YouTube, you can see our well, I don't know if you guys can, but I'm looking at the Passion to Profit logo.
It should be on their Apple podcast.
Oh yeah, well,
too.
what do you guys think about the new colors? Shout out to Solus Inc. for the designs as always. But yeah, I'm looking at it. Looks good. Looks official.
You can see it right now?
Yeah. It's on the screen. Turn around.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
God, you got the good seat today.
Yeah. This is forever my seat. I'm calling it, by the way.
Vince doesn't like to have his back to the door.
No, I don't. We're not going to talk about why, but I just don't.
I had a feeling.
So
how do you... Look, I know I remember calling you from the car with this idea. How does it feel now that you see it?
Well, in real life? Well,
Yeah.
I feel it more in the moment.
I know.
So.
But now you see your friend's logo.
Oh, no, know what it is? Even 5 seconds ago when I just completely took over, that's what happens. Like, everything's perfect now. There's no mental blockage for me. It's clear focus.
I see.
There's no oh, this could be better.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this much, so I'm not going to. Right? That's all gone.
That's good.
What about you?
I knew it was the right idea the minute I first thought of it.
Yeah.
I had no, other than hoping you wanted it, other than
Like the name?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Other than that,
I didn't know what the name was going to be at all. So.
I just feel like it was the right all-encompassing name.
I think we both knew that we had to rebrand. And we talked about it in the last episode, but it was just a good move. Just because there's so much going on with Irie Lemon.
Right. So if you guys give us some feedback, we'd love to hear what you think.
So, anyway, this episode's all about helping entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and specifically helping you turn those passions of yours into profitable businesses.
Yep. And it's great because it's January right now. And I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, dreamers, you guys probably already did your, what's that thing? New Year's resolutions. Everyone does them. So we were talking about this, and Liz had a great idea about 3 tips to give you guys on your journey. How to start, how to finish, what to do.
Almost like if you're looking at a map, like you go on a website and it's like start here.
Yeah.
So this is really the start here episode. If you are looking to take your passion somewhere, a bit more meaningful where it can impact more people and make a larger impact in the world, you have to start somewhere. And so this would be really the best episode of where to start. The first 3 steps that you should take if you do want to start embarking on that journey of turning it from a passion into something more.
Yeah. So Liz, right now it's crazy right now. You're in your 4th quarter of your business. You're crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're hyped up.
It's Q1 now, actually.
It's technically Q1.
Well, when people are listening to this, it'll be Q1. It's January.
But I mean, currently in December for your business.
Yeah.
So you're excited. There's a lot of things going on. So what's the first tip that you can give people to get where you're at right now?
So you guys, Vince,
Fuck.
you don't turn your, oh my God, you guys, it's season 2 and he's still.
Hey, listen, we're all human beings.
So you gonna crack open a Coke now?
Bubbly.
Oh my God.
Hey, Bubbly, please
Let me
sponsor
know
this
when you're
episode.
done.
This episode is brought to you by Bubbly Sparkling Water.
Vince wishes. They did just send me. Oh my God.
That was so aggressive in my ears.
They did just send me a. Bubbly just sent me a care package, guys. I was like, please work with me.
No, this blackberry. All right.
It's delicious.
It doesn't Coke own this?
Probably.
Are they just making their pops without the sugar in it? That's so
Low key. Bubbly is amazing. Mango bubbly is my favorite. Cherry is my second favorite.
And they sell no calories, no sweeteners, all smiles.
Vince knows that he's in a good place with me when I give him the last mango bubbly.
Facts.
So, yeah, Bubbly sent me a care package of the day, and I was like, please work with me. Please.
Please, Bubbly. Please, we need
God. Because when I make cocktails, that's all I do for mixer. I don't use, like, mixers. I just use sparkling water.
Yeah.
Then it's, like, no calories.
Talk about your secret weapon when you make cocktails.
A lot of flavor by things like ginger, a mashed up orange peel, maybe some mint. All things that add a lot of flavor with essential oils with no calories.
Yeah. So Liz not admitting it, but she uses all Irie juices. Plug to make all her cocktails. So head to Irie and get you a $4 drink, please. I need it. Who knows if I'm in business right now at the time of this recording? So
You guys, by the time you're listening to this,
please buy.
All right,
Please buy a
let's
gift
get
card.
back to
Yeah, what's the
topic
first
at
tip?
hand, Vince, you done cracking open your snack?
Yeah, snack crackle
So
pop.
you guys listen. This is going to be tough for a lot of you to hear, especially you type 3s out there. I know we got a lot of listeners that are always concerned about their appearance, or you type 1 perfectionists. Here's the thing. You can't research something forever. At some point, the research needs to end and the action needs to start. So my first step, the number one thing, the first thing you need to do is press publish. And when I say press publish, you can replace that with press record, press play, schedule the blog post, publish the song, post that outfit on Shopify, whatever it might be. Open that website up, open the door,
Do the thing.
Do the thing, and stop overthinking it. But you've got to press publish. The reason is, so here's the part 2 of that, Vince. All the lessons of business are going to be learned during the journey. So before you've started, it's so fun to like sit in your cozy nook. You got your house all cute for Christmas. You probably still have the decor up. You're like cozy, sipping coffee, reading about what you might do and researching and looking at what other people are doing. And you've got your Pinterest vision board. And
Yeah.
you've got your...
I got a question. Oh, sorry. Why do you think people don't start? We get it. Like, all right,
I was really
we get it.
enjoying my...
We get it, Liz. We got to press publish. We got to start. People who are like, okay, I get it. Why haven't they start though? Like, we know people that say
I
they're
see what
gonna.
you're doing. You're leading us to number 2. Vince is like, let's get
No.
this moving.
Well, no.
All right.
Well, it does tie in. It does.
It does.
But I think you always have these funny things you say about why people don't start. You always have like,
Of course.
a reason to
You
explain
guys,
it.
it's one thing.
which is
Fear.
fear of what?
What other people think.
Mm.
Fear of failure. End of story. That's it.
How-
Also insecurity.
So
a lot of things.
you're such
Maybe
a-
they grew up with someone telling them they'll never amount to anything.
Mhm.
So if you grew up being told you can't do it, you'll never do it, you'll never amount to anything, you're never going to make it, you're not worth it, you're not worthy, you're going to believe it.
Yeah.
So part of being a grown-up is we have to reparent ourselves. So we have to change those unhelpful thought loops in our head and replace that of you're not worthy, or you don't deserve success, or you don't deserve, whatever it might be. We're talking about business in this sense, but it works for weight loss, love.
Everything.
You're not worthy of love. Well, guess
Kara,
what?
please clip that part.
People that don't think they're worthy of love are not going to be in long-lasting romantic relationships that have any substance to them, because they now believe what they were told throughout their childhood. So if you haven't achieved success, partly it could be because you were told you weren't worthy of success, or that you would never amount to anything. So that's cool. That all happened. Let's move forward. We now have to change those thoughts that pop up in our head and replace them with new thoughts, correct thoughts. So you need to tell yourself you are worthy, you are deserving, you will succeed, you will reach that goal, you will this, that, whatever it is. You are a success, you are worthy, you are blah, 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 lovable, all those things. And it takes a lot of work. And just like exercise, which, like today I woke up and I worked out before a long day of meetings, it would have been easier to skip that workout. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people take the easy way out. And it's easy to just let those unhelpful thought loops last in our head. It's like comfortable. In a weird way, we get comfortable with the discomfort because we're used to it. So we get stuck in that.
I tweeted that the other day.
What'd you say?
It's like there's people have 59 reasons why it can't happen. most of the time. We all know those people, right?
Yeah.
And like, they rarely have one reason why it could happen, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like part of starting is just doing it. And like, to your point, the reason I asked you that to give more context is because I feel like you know why a lot of people just don't do, and it's all the things you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that leads into the second tip, big time, which is stop, for me, is stop asking permission. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of, or maybe afraid is not the right word, right? I think our producer Kirk said something. It was like, ask for forgiveness later or something like that. Like,
Yeah, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
yeah, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. And I feel like a lot of people feel like part of that research, part of that not starting is gaining all the information, is asking 10 people, is needing the, okay, you can do this, right? In reality, if you're trying to change your situation and all the people around you are doing the same thing, you can't ask your friend who drinks to like, do they think is a good idea for you to stop drinking, right? Like if they're your party friend, like they're probably not the best person to ask or the best person that you need to support you on this journey.
Give a business example.
So in business, like I think a lot of people who are starting think more of, and this is how I understand it. So let me be clear. If there's a new business idea, I would get from most people 50 things of why this thing can't happen, right? And what they're doing is not, we say negative self-talk. They don't see the way. Cool. I really think what they're waiting for is some type of permission to be able to do. Like someone being able to like, you're right, go ahead. This is a good idea. When in reality, like you don't know until like you do it.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Tell me if this is right or wrong. What it sounds like you're saying is that, I always say this with like health and weight loss. No one's going to lose the weight for you. No one's going to make your health a priority but you. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is also taking ownership. I think a lot of people are really bad at taking ownership.
Yeah.
So their reality is up to them, but they don't want to take ownership for it. So they're waiting for somebody else to come
like,
and swoop in and save the day.
Today's a great day to start your business without asking for any permission. Today's a great day to start losing weight without worrying about, what X, Y, and Z think.
So give me an example, because I don't necessarily personally resonate with the asking permission thing. So give an example.
So you don't ask for permission.
Right. So give me an example of, what do you mean by that? Like, when is the time that you've asked permission?
I don't ask for permission either.
Okay. So who do you think is worried about asking permission?
I think a lot of people are. Like they want, before they'll start doing something, they'll run.
Like they want their friend to tell them it's a good idea?
A friend tells them it's a good idea,
Okay.
or they need to go listen to this podcast, or they need, I need to figure out how to do this thing first. Like
The
it's
research.
all like not actually doing. It's all, you need validation in some way,
Yeah.
right? It's like, no, like don't ask for any permission. Like just do it. Just go. Like once you have your idea, right? I think the second feeling is, how's this going to affect
Right.
everything?
It reminds me of what my number 2 was, is don't seek outside validation.
Yeah.
But it's different than that, isn't it?
Yeah, like for example, I don't want to get too personal into your life, but you explain this to me. Like your culture and your family is stay-at-home moms.
Right.
So imagine you asking your mom permission to start Dilemma.
Right.
Basically, in different ways.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
No.
That's the reason why you have Dilemma today. A lot of people were like,
But what I was looking for was the outside validation, which I didn't get.
I think that is the same thing as what you're saying, Vince, to an extent, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
You said it wasn't, though.
The permission is oftentimes like validation too.
yeah, it goes hand in hand, I would say. I agree. Like, to me, it's a little bit different because I feel like a validation, it comes from a different source where like you value the praise, you value what people think about you so much that you need that to you have no real graphs or feeling of like, is this thing good or bad? That's the way you figure that out, is if other people like it or not in your life, people you hold valuable, right? So to the point of, yes,
Right.
It does go hand in hand, right? Like permission and validation. It's such a thin line.
Because I think also people are doing it, the cliche, for the likes, for the page views, for the downloads. And I'll just speak on this from personal experience as someone that has built an online business, which obviously is social media heavy. You know, for years, I wasn't getting, of course, any downloads, so yesterday we had like a traffic record, a very high day on my
Congrats,
website.
by the way.
Thank you. And
Ooh, big day.
we had more page views yesterday than our whole first year.
Wow.
So imagine, though, if I was expecting that year 11 success in year 1.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is human nature. We're impatient. You know, we all, and, you know, it's so easy now to just see people's highlight reel and you just assume, well, if that blogger is doing really well, I could start tomorrow and do the same thing.
Exactly.
And here's the bigger part where I'd actually push you to go dig a little deeper. So it's like me saying, you got to work out to lose weight. We already know all that. You already know you shouldn't smoke cigarettes. You already know you shouldn't be looking for outside validation. So why do we still do it? It's because you haven't found your why. So you don't have a strong enough why. If I was doing the lemon bowl for traffic on a website or for likes on a social media platform or for pin impressions, it wouldn't be here today because that stuff does not excite me. So I could care less about any of that. My why is I want to empower women to feel healthy in their skin and feel better mentally and physically. So that is what pushes me. So the great thing about that, you guys, is that if I make 2 women feel great, feel healthier, make a dinner faster, feed their families healthy food that's not from a box, then I'm happy. I did it. So that's what keeps you going, which will lead into our number 3. But I'll hold off.
We're gonna go into number 3 for sure. But to give the clippable moment, stop listening to this podcast. Stop listening to Gary Vee. Stop listening to the quotes. Stop going on Twitter. Stop looking for the permission to do. Right? Like, I don't ask anything. I just do it. If I have an idea, right, I'm not asking for permission. Like, I have to find out for myself. And I think part of being an entrepreneur is that you're thinking, you're planning, you're taking the big risk at first, then to minimize it. Right? Like, you're taking a big risk. Like, I'm going to open a restaurant. I'm going to start my online business. I'm going to quit my job. Right? Like, that's your idea. Your interest or your inspiration, your why could be, I want to impact women to be healthier, smarter, feel they can make $1 million and be okay with it. Right? My mission might be, I want to impact kids just like me to believe that they can do something. Right? So the risk is, well, for us to do that, we have to step out here by ourselves. We have to be in the middle of the road. We have to go on a road that's not traveled. It's for you, and it's lonely, right? But if you're asking permission, if you'll never get started, you'll never do it to the fullest, because you always will need that next door or that next person to then validate you in a way to then accomplish that thing. And I think that just slows a lot of entrepreneurs down.
Yeah. There's a Brene Brown quote about, you know, the people in the stands watching, you shouldn't really care about. If they're too afraid to get in the ring, you should really not be concerned with their opinion.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is that, you know, social media, for example, it's 80% of the people consume the content, 20% create it. Mm-hmm. I create content. I don't really consume it. And so why would I worry about what the other 80% of people that are too afraid to even step in the ring feel or think about me?
And you said something earlier, too, that I liked. You were talking about, and probably just like 2.5 is like the validation or like caring about likes, views. I don't care if, and let me not say I don't care. It doesn't stop me if somebody doesn't like something that I want to do. And I think same thing for you. Like, there's 7 billion plus people out in the world. Like, you can find your tribe. You got to continue to go. And so if you are starting a blog, you think you want to be like Liz, and your whole goal is traffic and money, and then, well, then, you know what? Sure, can I get you to a certain point? Yeah. But you'll never have anything. You'll never have a foundation that's like real or like something that pushes you. You always be dictated by, oh, my traffic is down. So then that means X, Y, and Z. Whatever the excuses are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which, by the way, I've seen bloggers like that and they're miserable.
Yeah.
They're literally glued to their phones, beating themselves up over an algorithm that they have zero control over. Yeah. That just to me seems like, is that the life you want to design? And I think that's another thing you got to think about. What do you want your life to look like? And what steps are you taking now to get your life to look like how you want it to look like? And think about that. Is your goal to be working every minute of every day and not seeing your family or your spouse or your kids? Is your goal to be so busy with work that you can't take a vacation? Is your goal to be so busy that you don't have time to spend the money you're earning? What is your goal? What do you want? What life are you designing? And what steps can you take today that are going to get you that life of design, by design, life by design, really?
You're just a master at that, by the way. So, and I've learned how to do that from you.
What do you mean?
Designing your life. Okay, so this is probably for more experienced entrepreneurs who are probably listening to this. A lot of you guys are reacting in your life. So you built this thing. You took the idea, right? You press publish. You didn't ask for fucking permission. You want 100%. You don't need a validation, right? But now you have this thing. But that thing controls you 100% of the way. And that's what you just described. I don't have time for vacation. I don't have time to see my family. But I have this thing that controls, that pays for everything, that get whatever, right? A lot of people aren't in control of that as much as they may portray.
Yeah.
Right? I would even go off and say a blanket statement that 80% of business owners don't control their day-to-day life. It's more about how their business operates, and then they try to carve out time. Very few people are purposeful enough to be like, oh, I'm gonna take this route on the path because what I want is the 30-hour work week.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily true, but the option to make that happen is what they went down the road of, versus a lot of people like who care about, I just want this thing to be a thing.
What did I do?
This the first one, right? Like you're able, like, you know your values, like, yo, you want to be a mom, you want to be a wife, like your goal isn't not to see your family.
Right.
So how you built your business, like inside your home, it's online based. It's not heavy staff. There's no building. There's nothing that requires you not to be there 100% when you want to be.
Right.
Versus my life, it's not that way.
Yeah.
It's whatever that thing needs, I need to do
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and that's just the nature of that business. Yeah,
We're going to do a whole episode on delegation, you guys.
Yeah.
And it'll be mostly me teaching it and Vince listening, and I'm going to
100%.
tell him how to do it.
I suck at it.
And I think a lot of entrepreneurs and creatives suck at it. I love it.
Yeah. Like,
I'm a big fan of doing what you're meant to be doing.
yeah.
And anything you are not meant to be doing is making everyone around you miserable.
Yeah. There goes your Harmony driver.
Mm-hmm. All right. Should we move on to number 3?
Yeah.
Guys, this is my favorite one. Do you remember it?
I think so.
You trying to Google it, Vince? This
Yeah,
isn't published
I'm
yet.
trying to
This
see.
is
I'm
not
trying to see
the
the Slack. Did we ever?
All right,
we ever
you guys. So to recap, number 1, we've pressed published. Congrats, nice job, proud of you guys. Number 2, we did not ask for permission. We're not looking for that outside validation. No, never. Why would we do that? So we've done that, right? Steps 1 and 2 are done. There's only one last step, you guys, and this step is the easiest step. You got to repeat steps 1 and 2, and do it again.
And do it again. What's that meme? Reduce, recycle, Rihanna, or something like that. Or Rihanna, like, that thing. 100%.
How do you feel about that, Vince?
I think it's good. I think there's a lot of value there for the people.
Have you ever heard of like 3% to infinity or 1% to infinity?
Yeah, like, is that from Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story?
No. I learned it from Bjork of Food Blogger Pro.
Infinity
podcast.
and Beyond.
Infinity and Beyond.
Infinity and Beyond.
But basically, the Lemon Bowl is what it is now because for the last 11 years, every day I made my business 1% better. So whether that was publishing one more blog post, even when no one was listening, no one was watching, no one was downloading it, no one was making my recipes, I came back, I pressed publish, and I didn't ask permission. And then the next day, I pressed publish again, I didn't ask permission. And then the next week, and the next, I just kept on doing it again and again and again and again. And I think that consistency, if I could sell that, I would be really rich. I think that's the biggest thing that I see missing. You know, I don't want to paint generalizations, but entrepreneurs are visionaries and they're creatives. And I would say a lot of really great employees are really good at consistency. Like my husband is the king of structure, consistency, closing loops, rinse, wash, repeat. And that's why he's an incredible employee that's constantly promoted and rewarded in his company.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you're an entrepreneur, you are obviously a visionary. And being a visionary is a lot sexier than doing a lot of work again and again and again without pay. Like I always say this, I didn't get paid for 3 years.
Do you think so?
Most people would not work for 3 years without being paid. Can you imagine having Irie Kitchen open for 3 years without making any money?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like being a visionary is not as sexy. Oh, you know what? It is.
No,
Like,
it's way sexier.
like how we sell it. Like how you sell your
visionary's like the cool guy.
like how you sell your life is cool.
What do you
right?
mean by that?
Like what people assume.
Okay.
But like I always tell people like, yo, if I could not be like this, I would totally trade it. Not really, but
Well, I think right now social media has glorified an entrepreneur.
oh yeah,
It's
like
glorified the guy with the cool Instagram account. Like
Yeah.
you could open 5 Instagram. How many Instagram accounts are you gonna
oh my
open?
God, how many Instagrams you gonna count without fucking executing? God damn.
Vince tweeted recently how many Instagram accounts you're gonna open to prove you're successful.
Yeah, it's like
So
I don't care about the like. Doesn't make money.
But the thing of it is like it's really easy. There's free photo editing programs and graphic design, and it's so easy to literally start a business.
Which
tomorrow.
on the flip end, I love because I want people to try, and in a weird sick way, I want people to fall on their face.
See, I want people to
And let me
consistent
and
see
let,
some value
let
because
me-
I want people to. So many people spend.
wait. Let me explain why real quick. Because a lot of entrepreneurship is falling on your face. It's more of that than it is the win. 3 years you made $0.
Yeah.
So for 3 years you're getting punched in the face by a bully.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, Vince.
No, I'm just saying, like, for people listening, like, it's not a dig on you. It's like
I'm just kidding.
they all think it's like, what, you just started a blog and it blew up one day? All I have to do is for 6 months is rinse and repeat, and then I'll be successful. No, 3 years, and now it's gonna take you 5 years, because that was when it was coming up when you did it.
Right.
Now there's a billion people trying to make a blog and an Instagram account.
It's
right?
honestly a
Like,
miracle.
There's a million people
I
doing
think about that. It's a
no
miracle.
right time, all
It's
that,
a miracle.
and all that. Right? How many people are doing a podcast? Like I can't just assume that we're just gonna
So
get a million people
it
on a podcast from day one. Like it's not in that stage anymore. It's way harder to get listens and likes. But I see people see us do it, and then they want to do one. I'm like, all right, well, I'll outwill you.
you guys, there's one thing that Vince and I don't lack of. It's will.
Yeah.
You'll notice Vince and I show up week after week, again and again. It
No
always
matter what you have to
improves.
say, what you think.
Here we are. The more you push, the more we show up.
Yep.
So it's similar to weight loss. We would all be super thin if it was easy, or if there was an end. There's no end.
I have something on this, but keep going.
Okay. So there's no end.
By the way, we're completely like going off the tips thing, but I love it. I love it. I think this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like guys, like if you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Because we're about to get into some heavy, valuable shit right now. So keep going.
So here's the thing. So when I lost 65 pounds, it was actually the first time I lost it was really easy, because when you aren't doing anything, all you have to do is something different and it makes an impact. So and I've been pushing Vince to let me do a few episodes on weight loss. He hasn't committed yet, but if you guys want to hear more about my weight loss story, maybe if you want to know how I lost the weight, practical like 3 steps to losing weight, let me know. Oh, we got a vote. We have a vote.
You gotta vote.
Okay, that's a yes.
No, that means when you come on the show, you can talk about that too.
Oh,
We thought we got a vote in the back. So
we definitely got to vote, but you definitely
Kirk's no
gotta do that.
dummy. He sees a good podcast episode. So here's the thing. Working out and eating right, measuring portions and limiting sweets, it's not easy, right? And if it was easy, everybody would do it. And not only is it not easy, you can't like do it for a year, lose weight and stop and go back to the Doritos and the beers and the pizza and the burgers and the pasta. You can't. It has to go on forever. And similarly with the lemon bowl, it's not like I could get to year 3 and just be done. That's just honestly when it starts. And a lot of people, I don't know how else to say it, aren't up for the challenge. A lot of people simply aren't up for a lifelong commitment. A lot of people don't like to commit to anything. And you have to be committed to anything to see true benefits from it. Nothing comes without long-term commitment, day in and day out, and being uncomfortable, having discomfort in the short term for long-term benefit.
So I had an epiphany.
That's okay.
And I tweeted this the other day. Follow me on Twitter, Irie. You want to learn some value. So, like that plug. I like
value?
it.
Is that what we call it?
Yeah, my Twitter is full of value. It's lit. Ambivalence. So I realized something the other day. It's not passion. It's not motivation. It's not ideas. It's not belief in self. It's not reinsurance. People have multiple things that they believe in their head, which then determine their outcome. Right? So I was like looking up for Google what the word is, and I found it. Guys, I'm no scholar. So
spoiler alert.
Some of my tweets are spelled wrong, but you guys get the point. So ambivalence is the state of having simulators.
All right, let's try the definition again, Vince.
Ambivalence is a state of having conflicting reactions, beliefs, or feelings towards some object. So, oh, that's cool. That's so cool. This is on the screen.
Okay, I don't know if Vince can face the TV because this is real.
I'll figure something out for you.
No,
it's
but
like he's watching a cartoon.
No, he just typed it up.
Him.
No, he typed it on the screen. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's cool.
Too small to read.
It was too small to read. But is the experience of having attitude towards someone or something that contains both positive and negative feelings. So like most people understand that they should work out every day, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Most people understand they got to eat more greens and healthy, right? Google's a thing. There's no information lacking.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of the matter is that as bad as they want to lose weight, they also don't want to.
Yeah.
Because it's comfortable, right? And so when I found this word, I'm like, this is genius. I think this is what stops a lot of people from, like what you're saying, of getting things done or seeing things all the way through, is because in business, for example, very few people believe 100%, right? Not just saying it. Saying it is the easy part. Believing that they're right and their thing is going to work. It takes you have to be a little delusional to not make money for 3 years and think your blog is going to take off. Like the difference between an entrepreneur, a visionary, and an employee or someone who's like the employee doesn't have time to think that this thing's going to work and have like the 3 years to work on it and then nothing happens or something happens, right? Like
I think it's something different.
I disagree. I think this is like I think this is the DNA trait in all entrepreneurs.
Ambivalent.
No, they don't struggle with it. Other people do. Like having.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't struggle with that. It's either this or it's that. Big picture wise.
Is the opposite of ambivalence having conviction?
Let's look at the synonyms. I don't really know.
So Kirk's gonna look that up while we keep talking. So
it's on the screen. Certainty and decisiveness.
Certainty. Like you're so certain about so much stuff in your day to day. If I ask you something, just like kidding, I'm like, you sure about that? You're like, yep.
Really?
100%. So am I though.
Okay, I have another theory. I'm just thinking back to what I actually went through. When I was starting the Lemon Bowl, I had very low expectations. So I think a lot of it also is having realistic expectations. So yeah, you can definitely call me delusional, but it wasn't even that. I didn't look at it like I wasn't trying to get rich.
No, I'm saying delusional from the outside perspective.
Yeah.
Not you personally.
Yeah.
Because you were certain about what you were doing.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Like you leaving Marriott, not having.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a side job though, so you weren't like completely off the rails. Some people completely stopped working on their whole. They stopped making income.
You guys. I had a job when I was making no money. Let's make that real clear. That I didn't just quit my job and not have money. I had a job.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest secret is to keep working until your business makes money. I would not recommend quitting your job until your business is making money.
Yeah, and that's crazy that like you had such the belief for 3 years
Well, you say such the belief of what? What did you think I believed?
that that you weren't wasting your time. That
Yeah.
this was going to be something.
I always knew my recipes were better than everybody else's.
See? And there we go, guys. Waiting for her to say something in such a matter of fact statement. But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, to this day, I get so few comments that my recipes aren't amazing.
Yeah.
It's just it's my one thing. We all have our one thing.
Okay.
Kirk, you raising your hand?
Yeah, I have a question for you, Liz. Did you begin the lemon bowl with the intent that it would turn into profit, or was there a point where it turned from passion to profit? Can you kind of explain that journey?
Yeah. So Kirk is asking if I started the lemon bowl with the intent of making profit, and the answer is no. So when I started my website, it was June of 2010. There was no such thing as Instagram. Pinterest was invite only. And I did not know any bloggers that were making a living from blogging. So, of course, now thousands and millions of people follow other bloggers. So, of course, it makes complete sense that other people want to do that as well. And they've seen that they want to replicate other people's success. I didn't have any example. Like maybe you might, for example, you could easily have wanted to become a successful restaurateur because you've seen other restaurants be successful. In my industry, there was no example of success yet. That's why, like, sweet people will say I'm like a trailblazer or whatever. I did not realize that at the time, but it's just that there was no trail already blazed. So the nice thing with that is that there was no pressure to make a profit. There was no expectations. I didn't tell my husband, I'm going to be a food blogger, honey. Like, I didn't quit a job to be a food blogger when I grow up. Like, it wasn't a thing. So I literally had lost 60 pounds and everybody kept asking how I did it. And I knew efficiency has always been a thing for me. I get it from my dad. My sister and I laugh about it. We are efficiency queens. But if a bunch of people want to know how to make a recipe you're making, a food blog is the easiest way because now I have 11 years and 1,500 recipes. So if anybody asks me for a recipe, I can text it to them. I can email. I don't have to write it out every time. Think of how many people ask you for the
But it's funny. But it's funny how, and this is what I'm trying to get the crux to. It's funny how you didn't make a cookbook and then just sell that. You went online, and you blogged every day.
Vince, I'm gonna let you know a little secret about me.
Every day, and the reason why I'm saying that because I want you to give the answer to the people because they're also like, what? So every day, right?
Did I answer your question, Kirk?
Yeah.
You do this every day, a blog. And to me, it's like funny, like that's what you decided to do instead of making a cookbook or, I have it in an email file to send it to you. Right. Or like, I want to tell you how I lost weight. Well, that's like maybe 5 blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
So what else was it going? What else was happening? Like, did you get, like, what kept you so encouraged every day?
All right. So I'm not sure if you guys have figured this out about me, but I am a social person. I'm a 2-wing 3, the entertainer. I'm an ESFJ. I'm an extrovert. I'm a very social person. And the great thing about social media is that it's social. So you can be at home and stay connected to other people through social media. So a lot of people don't like social media because they don't like to share or self-promote or teach or expose themselves or share their life. I love to do all those things. So I had lost all this weight and I wanted to show people and share with them how I did it. So the great thing about having a blog is I could create a community and I could share with them and we could talk. I could open a Facebook page and we could share and talk about it. I could start a Twitter channel. I've had Twitter, Vince, longer than you have. I've had Twitter since 2010. So then Instagram came about that. So Instagram came that September. So I was like the first of all those platforms. And so social media can't be, I think social media gets a really bad rap, but social media, I bet we're all liking it these days when we're stuck at home. Social media helps people stay connected and it helps people create online communities which makes a ton of sense. I met my husband online. You know, I'm an early adapter to technology. So these social platforms were just a natural draw for me. And it came from a pure place of wanting to show Sally in Missouri how I made that soup.
Wow.
But it was not self-serving. It was all
No.
tribe versus self.
Yeah, but but in a way, like, when they say giving is sometimes the best gift, like when you give,
Yeah.
like that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, all my
like
content
it wasn't self-serving, but
well, you
like,
gotta remember,
you
guys,
got a lot of it too. So
Right.
you weren't like losing from this.
Remember, you guys, I don't sell anything.
So
A lot of entrepreneurs sell things. I don't sell anything. My recipes are free. My podcasts are free.
you sell yourself though. Really good, by the way. Liz is probably like the like, if we were in a war room selling penny stocks, Liz would be making the most money out of the whole group.
Guaranteed.
So don't be like, I don't sell.
You know what I'm
Liz
talking
is a seller. Why do you think I'm here? Why do you guys think?
Because he begged me for 5 months to do this podcast.
Wow.
You get my point, though. I'm just saying I don't sell products. You asked about cookbooks. Cookbooks are for sale. I give away all my content for free.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you meant. I'm just.
You hear that, Gary? I give it all away for free. Just like you told me.
That's so crazy. Well, guys, we have to wrap up this episode.
Vince has had enough of me.
So.
Repeat the 3 steps, Vince.
So, that just reminded me, 'cause I forgot this. Through your storytelling, and I don't know if you guys caught on to this, Liz was repeating the 1, 2, and 3. Like every time. Not asking, pressing publish, and not asking permission over and over again. Like, the crux of it was, I just want to blog because I want to, and I don't need XYZ person to say it's a good idea for me to do it. I care more about helping Lizzie in Missouri.
Vince, nobody in June of 2010 would have thought that was a good idea. So if you're out there trying to get someone's approval for a visionary idea that doesn't exist yet and no one can understand, you might as well jump off a cliff.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
You're setting yourself up for failure every time. No one knew what a blog was back then. So for me to go around asking permission for that would have been
even crazier. Right? That'd be even crazier. Well, Liz, thank you for this. I think you've just gave me amazing insight.
Vince,
so thank you.
Passion to profit. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I feel good.
Are you pumped?
Yeah. So let's say it one more time. What's the first step?
Press publish.
Second step?
Don't ask permission.
Third step?
Repeat steps 1 and 2.
There you guys go. Take care, everybody. Please share. We put a lot of work into this podcast. We are now in the new studio, by the way. Kirk, our producer, Talking Attic, has built an amazing studio. And so, please, guys, please share. Do all this hard work. Share with your friends, tag us. And if you struggle with these things, please hop in our DMs, ask us questions. Let's communicate it in our community. We're trying to galvanize the passion to profit, folks. So, thank you, guys. Peace.
You gonna learn this jazz today. Yes, you going to learn this jazz. Ooh, I even got your girl some jazz yesterday. True. No, I'm just playing.
Wait, you made it this far in the podcast? Thank you for listening. Subscribe.